Hi everyone. So, welcome back to part 4. Um, Apologize for this being such a long series. I had, again, I had thought I'd just do it in 1 15 minute, but it's probably an hour now. So, part 4, the final part hopefully the final part anyway, that I wanted to discuss was the communication, the mobile phone. So, I have a standard mobile phone. I have an iPhone which I use, and I have my BlackBerry for my work. But this one, this is just standard Nokia phone. No software, no apps, no anything. So it has phone texts. It does. You can get email on it. Just a standard phone. So why is this so important? Well, generally everyone is pretty much attached to their handset at all times. So during an evacuation at night, you might accidentally forget to plug it in and it might be out of battery. And when they're out of battery, your entire contact lists, your notes, your maps, your everything is just gone. So in an emergency, everyone is pretty much trying to look for a PowerPoint. And pretty much it's not that easy. It's not that easy. There are a lot of priorities going on in a sort of a post evacuation, post emergency situation, or even during the emergency situation. But we do live in a world where communication is essential. You need to communicate. You need to let your loved ones, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your work fellows know that you are okay, or in the obvious case that you are not okay and that you are in a hospital, or you need help, or you're trapped, or something bad is happening, and to get a message to the right people. This is why a secondary phone is important. Now, on this phone, again, you should only really keep this phone for emergencies, and you should only keep bare minimum essential phone numbers. So, phone numbers for your parents, brother, sister, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, that kind of thing. And maybe one or two extra friends, and that's it. That's all you need. No, you don't need anything more than that, and only the trusted people have that number. Now, this number you should use. I would recommend that you use this number, and you create a separate email address instead of your primary email address. So you have a backup email address and a number for this that you link together, and you use that for traveling. So when you're checking in with Expedia or whatever other current apps are available, I strongly recommend you use this number and a separate email. Now, don't link that phone number and that email address to any other media like Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, even WhatsApp. You should really, because you don't want it to be a social forum. You just want to have, because you do need to provide a phone number and an email address to every time you book. So the good thing about that is then it's only linked to your travel information, because a lot of people, I personally don't know how to do it, but people, they can use your phone number and your email address, and then they can get to your social media, and they can find stuff about you. As I talked about the stalking case, or the attempted stalking case, kind of thing. But if they want to do something bullying kind of thing, they can work backwards with those two pieces of information, and these things are cross-linked somehow, and people manage to get to them. So if you have a phone number and an email address that is absolutely in no way linked to your social setting, your social presence, then it creates at least a one-step barrier I mean, they still have your name and your date of birth and your address because you've provided it. And as I mentioned, how that person managed to get my friend's information. But I highly recommend that you at least try and create a barrier. And then you can always have your primary number and your primary email, and keep copies of everything backwards and forwards synced with all of that. So I would highly recommend. And also a simple phone like a Nokia or like a Sony, or I don't even know if Sony Ericsson exists anymore, but a simple Nokia, the battery life, as you know, is really, really good. Compared to an iPhone or a Samsung. Now I know at this moment you're probably shouting across the screen saying, "Oh well, you can have like the modern Samsung can have 50-hour battery life whilst you're watching a video and navigating through whatever." But I personally don't think I've never seen any good battery life on these iPhones. I mean, the more apps you use and the more stuff you do, the battery is used up. And then they take a long time. If my BlackBerry, which is my work BlackBerry, if the battery runs out on that, to get it restarted and to get it to a stage where I can actually physically start using it, that's about a 30-minute job. between a 15 and 30-minute job if the battery goes completely dead and it conks out. It takes about 15 minutes to start up from scratch to gain the power, and at that time, between those 15 and 30 minutes, you don't have access to the screen. You can't do anything about it. With the iPhone, I constantly keep my iPhone. I don't really go out much, as you know from my other videos, but I mean, when I travel, I have access to the power points because I'm not going anywhere yet. That is remote. I'm in a city. I'm in a hotel. The train, the aircraft have charges, but I haven't yet had a stage where my iPhone is totally finished up and I had to restart. But again, when it has in the past, when I've opened up a spare one, because I constantly damage them, and again, yeah, I constantly break my iPhones, not intentionally, but because of my hands and so on. Because I have very weak hands and I drop things and occasionally they break. So I sometimes just keep a few spare. Anyway, they take some time now. If in all seriousness, in an emergency, if that goes, if they go completely down to zero, dead, and you need to get a phone number or access to a contact straight away, that's not going to happen really easily. And the majority of people don't keep phone numbers on any other media other than their phone, because we have become so reliant on these phones. That is why I recommend, and having a simple phone with all your backup essential contacts, and also a pocket notebook with a couple of numbers. A couple of phone numbers and contacts and addresses. I at all times have a notebook in my back pocket, and I have a lot of information on that. I have my medical information on there. I have phone numbers and contact details of all my friends and my family. So if my phone were to, in the worst case, get lost or whatever, I have that information with me at all times, wherever I am. And I highly recommend you do that, and I think that will really, really stand you in good stead. So yes, in conclusion, I did mention a couple of tools. I did mention a couple of material aspects of being prepared. We live in a world that is made from tools. We live in a world, you can't always there are a lot of videos where a lot of people are sort of bugging out to shelters and to hide and so on. But the majority of people don't have access to that, and in the majority of countries, certainly people don't have access to that. So you have to be prepared realistically. And if you are out of the city, out of your country, then obviously you're not going to have access to your own bunker or something like that, and so on and so forth. So you need to be realistically prepared. And I think I have mentioned things that can keep you realistically prepared, and also to for you to be a facilitator, for you to be able to fabricate a solution to any problem that might come in your path. And these things won't weigh you down, but they will. What they will do is they will allow you to A, look after yourself, B, look after the people immediately with you, so your co-worker, your family, your children. C, they will allow you to contribute immediately to the people around you, and that C is also very, very important. And I've spoken about this before as well. So I highly recommend that when you are traveling, please be prepared. I hope you never have to implement the evacuation plan or have to use it, but realistically, something can always go wrong. Something can always go wrong, as I've mentioned before. So be prepared. And thank you very much for watching. Now, finally, in terms of these videos, again, yeah, apologies that it took me over such a long spread to go over the viewpoints, but I really felt passionate that I wanted to speak about it. And I know I'm not very articulate or very precise or to the point, but I did feel that I did my best, and I get really anxious making these videos, so I sometimes ramble on a bit. But after you've watched this part, this is the conclusion of this series, so there will be 4 videos. Please leave me some comments below of what you think. Be positive. I don't want negative comments because I want to open up a discussion. So be positive about the series. See what you thought was helpful. Let me know as part 1, and part 2. Let me know how you prepare. Part 3. Let me know what you take away from the series. You might want to share it with someone. You might want to talk about it with your co-workers if they travel. You might want to talk about it with your family member or whatever that is not prepared or is starting to travel, or might be traveling for the first time or going away to a new country, and to give them on tips and hints and some equipment and so on and so forth. So let me know how, if hopefully it's helped you and given you some ideas. Let me know which aspects you might incorporate into your travel, and any aspect that I have not spoken about or I've missed or completely forgotten about, please write that down in the comments. I do generally read all the comments. I've started to get a couple of abusive comments. I don't know why, but anyway, I've ignored them. I don't respond to abusive comments whatsoever. I'm not going to engage in that. I'm not that type of personality. I don't like such things. So I will only respond to positive comments because I'm trying to be positive, trying to help. I don't want to engage in any sort of crass negativity whatsoever. So parts 1, 2, 3. Let me know the feedback. Let me know what you take away from it. Let me know what you may want to add. Let me know any experiences that you had and how you adapted to that problem, especially if you were on a holiday or a work holiday or a work trip. Sorry, and I look forward to the educated interaction from everyone. And please do share these videos with friends, on YouTube, just so that I can get a broader positive feedback, because again, I'm just doing them out of passion, to share stuff with you. So thank you very much for watching. Apologies for the long time and the rambling, but again, I did want to make them simply because I wanted to share my passion and help. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll look forward to your comments. Thank you. Bye. Good luck.